Hello, I'm your humble host, Fizz Ed Music, and this right here is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, take your little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Fizz Ed Music, Urban Politics. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to jump right into it like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics to sink our teeth into. Let's go ahead and get started right off rip. Let's talk about Joseph Robinette Biden. What's going on with him? Number one, he will not be charged in classified documents case. Special counsel cites instances of poor memory. Yeah. So the decision means that Donald Trump is still the only president in history to face criminal charges. Um, let's start with that right there. Let's go ahead and dissect that right there. Number one, they claim. No, President Biden, they said that he willfully disclosed and obtained or, had classified documents while he was a quote unquote regular citizen or whatever, but they said they weren't going to charge him. Why? They're talking about instances of a poor memory. So this guy, Robert Hurd, said he won't prosecute President Biden even though his actions, and this is a quote from this guy, present serious risks to national security. Why? Because he could portray himself as an elderly man with a poor memory who would be sympathetic to a jury, or I think what he meant to say is that a jury would be sympathetic to an old man who claims that his memory is declining and he just can't recall what happened to these documents or whatnot. It's interesting that this guy claims that what President Biden did is presents a serious risk to national security, but he's still opting not to prosecute. Not because he doesn't have enough to actually have a good case or anything like that. No, that's not the reason. The reason is because he could get up there and portray himself as a poor, old man whose health is fading and whose memory is fading, and the jury will be sympathetic to him. And that could be worth some votes. That's the caveat he didn't put on this. But that's a piece of this too. That could be worth some votes, which is hilarious to me. It's funny how I'm really getting sick of all this. And all this is just people holding water for the right, holding water for Trump. But I'm sick of seeing like all these different memes and all these reels where they want to talk about how old and decrepit Biden is. And it's like, okay, old and decrepit Biden. And you know what? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'll talk about it next show because I had the numbers and all of that, but I spaced on it this time, ladies and gentlemen. But check it out. In the news, you know what I'm saying? Old and decrepit Biden, he had one of the best job reports, I think, in history. It was 300 and some million jobs, it was 300 and some jobs created that month. Usually, job reports are like 100,000 jobs created, 150,000 jobs created, 200,000 jobs created in that month. It's huge. It was like 300 and some change jobs created last month, and I think in January. Come on now. So say what you want to about the old man. He's getting work done. Is he old? Yes. Are his steps slow? Yes. Is he articulate as he used to be? And he used to be not articulate at all? Sure he is. He's still the gaff master. But with all that said, he knows how to get work done, and he's getting it done. So that is what it is. So I'm sick of them wanting to draw these parallels between Trump being how is he some young robust dude? I think Trump is like what? Is he 3-4 years younger than Biden? It might be less than that. So he's an old man too. And when you hear Trump talk, it also sounds like an old man too, right? So cut the games. Both of them are too old to be president. Just one guy doesn't suck at the job, and his last name is Biden. Anyway, moving on. They're also saying that Biden is seeking an endorsement from Taylor Swift. It's crazy. I might have said it last show. I'm going to say it this show. This election could come down to the endorsement of a little white pop singer. Yep, Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. I'm going on record as saying I am a Swiftie. Me and Moneybag Yo love Taylor Swift. So there it is on the record. But I'm not going to lie, I like the young lady's liberal spirit. They were saying that there was some midterm or something like that. You can look this up where she had said something to her fans about registering to vote. And I think thousands of young people voted. I think it was like 45,000, some crazy number like that. So, of course, the right is afraid of her. They should be, because 45,000 young people register to vote. If 45,000 people in their 20s register to vote, you know they're not voting Republican. So as a Republican, you don't want to hear them numbers, right? So I do like that in her. He needs to get that endorsement. He probably will get it because he is the liberal president. I'm pretty sure he's on board with all the stuff she's on board with. Some of that stuff I'm not even on board with. Some of that stuff I don't even agree with. But it will play well for Biden. He'll mess around and keep the presidency. Let's pray he does, because the other guy is an ish show. It's a family show. I don't want to say. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the other guy, Trump, the Trumpster. Talking politics, I have to talk about him. I don't want to talk about him. I gotta talk about him. Let's talk about him. Does not have presidential immunity. U.S. court rules. Talked about that on the show. These guys, lawyers, were actually arguing that since he was president, when all that insurrection stuff go down, he went down. He can't be charged with an insurrection because he was president. Ergo, any duties he did as president were fall under immunity. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. That's just an argument that goes around in circles. Donald Trump can and will be prosecuted on charges of plotting to overturn the 2020 election. He claimed he had immunity because his actions fell within his duties as president. That just sounds stupid on his face. When is your duty as president to try and steal election, to try and undo the will of the American people? When is that your duty as president? So all of that's made up. All of that is blasphemous. A D.C. court unanimously struck this down. Think about that. A D.C. court unanimously. That means all of them. I don't know how many judges it was, but it means they all came together and 100% of them said this guy is 100% guilty and definitely should be charged of trying to stage an insurrection. I love it. Now, people keep coming to me and they're like, look, Trump is an old, rich, white man. This is America. He is protected by the Prince of Darkness himself. No one's going to take him down. He will not be charged. I agree with Rachel Maddow. I do think he'll be charged, if for no other reason than that this is a country of laws. You do not have an America if you do not have the law. All these immigrants and all these people who risk life and limb trying to get to this country, what do you think they're coming here for? They're coming here for people, a place where they think that people will be held accountable under the law. Here in America, everyone is supposed to fall under what? The law. Barack Obama said it. This is a country of laws. We will seek retribution through the law. And he was a Harvard what? Law professor. So he knew what he was talking about. And that's the thing. If Trump gets away, 91 charges this guy's got. 91. If he gets away with those, then they're saying on record that this is no longer a country of laws. And if they say that, then what is America? I mean, what is it? The land of opportunity? We all know that's kind of a joke. That kind of depends on who you know and what you know. It just is what it is. That's kind of life, ain't it, right? Nepotism is real. You know what I'm saying? What they say, it's 90% who you know, 10% what you know. So that just is what it is. So land of opportunity, that kind of goes out the door. What do we have around here? If it isn't the law, what is it? And here in America, everyone is supposed to be accountable to the law. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has to fall under the law. The law reigns supreme. So it has to go that way for Mr. Trump. Because if it doesn't, we don't have a country. And I don't think there's people ready to hang up. You know what I'm saying? Ready to close the door in the country just yet. Although Bill Maher was showing that how it seems a lot of people, even Trump, like to, preface their whole run with that, like, oh, this country sucks. But I want to run it. Does that make it? America's horrible. It's awful. We're losing our country. Immigrants running it rampant. They're coming in through the border. This is going to the drugs everywhere. But I want to be your next president. I want to be the head of this. I don't want to say that again. I want to be the head of this train wreck that we call America. Out of their mouths, saying that America's a train wreck, so they want to be the conductor. Whatever. Moving on to our last story. Before I get into my IPAs of the week, I want to talk about the deplorable MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, doing what she does best, running interference for Tucker Carlson, having an interview with Vladimir Putin. Now, I bring this up because, think about it. A while ago, they were talking about how, Russia conspired with Trump to get him in there as president. A lot of people said that, that was proven to not be true or whatever. No, it was proven to be true. We know it to be true because look how the right has jumped on the jock of Russia. Really? Then you have Republican congressmen and women who don't want Ukraine to get aid. Almost like they want Vladimir Putin to be successful in his war, right? Isn't that interesting? That's really interesting. And now you have Tucker Carlson, you know what I'm saying, one of the lead henchmen on the right, doing an interview with the likes of a Vladimir Putin. Now, here's a guy who years ago they talked about how he was this and he was that and he was bad, and you know what I'm saying. And I remember, heck, I grew up in the 80s, right? So Ronald Reagan was president, and his whole thing was how we were against Mother Russia. You know what I'm saying? And then I think it was John Kerry said he looked in Vladimir Putin's eyes and he saw three letters, KGB, saying that, Vladimir Putin wanted to bring back that old Russia that Ronald Reagan had gotten rid of through the Cold War and depleted all their funds and all that good stuff. All this is history, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have time to walk you through it. But point being, it's interesting how things come back around full circle, because at first we were against Russia. Then that changed when, Bush Jr. got up on a stand and let everybody know that the new fight was against terrorism. So then it become Arabs who then America is against. And now we're back to Russia. How interesting how things just come full circle. But now we got a lot of enemies, don't we? We got Arabs, we have Russia, and we have China. Now they mad at China, huh? Or China's mad at us. I think China has been mad at the round eye for plenty of years, and probably for good reason. Internment camps. So there's that, ladies and gentlemen. There's some more history for you too. My point being is, like I said, things come full circle. So now you got the GOP all up Russia's butt. I think Ronald Reagan is turning over in his grave, probably trying not to throw up in his own face, because I'm sure he would just be really blown away by his own party. Ronald Reagan couldn't even be a Republican these days. He's not conservative enough for that party, and he definitely would not be kissing up or buttering up to Vladimir Putin or to Russia. So yeah, Ronald Reagan couldn't even be a Republican today. That's crazy, and he's a Republican god, right? All right, before I get out of here, let's talk about my IPAs of the week. My first one I'm going to start with is one of my favorites. I probably talked about this on the show before because it's literally one of my favorite IPAs. It's seasonal. This Chill Wave. Let me get in here so you can read it. Of course, I drank this, ladies and gentlemen. It's been gone. Been gone. There, that Chill Wave. I probably still got it upside down. Whatever. Chill Wave IPA. It's an Imperial IPA. It's really, really good. It says, inspired by the North Coast, dedicated, and sometimes chilly surf community. Our fully stoked double IPA will melt the ice in your beard and never lose its balance. It's 9.0% alcohol, ladies and gentlemen. It goes hard. This is a delicious drink. I talk about Great Lakes all the time. I want to get out there, out to Cleveland, and tour the Great Lakes facility. I love all of their beers. This is one of my faves right here. Matter of fact, I guess it's a Great Lakes night because I'm looking at my other IPA. It's also a Great Lakes beer. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Remember though, Chill Wave IPA, Imperial IPA. Fizzhead Music's one of his favorite. Right here, another Great Lakes original. This is great. This is Arctic Ancient. And I've never had this before. I think this is a newer beer of theirs. I've never had it. It was really, really, really good. Delicious. I remember it says it's frothy forecast, calls for extreme conditions. Take cover by the fire and brace yourself for an epic Imperial IPA packed with chill-bursting, juicy hop notes. I would agree. It was delicious. Juicy hop notes. Yeah, some of that. Arctic Ancient. It's an interesting name, too. Arctic Ancient. This also is an Imperial IPA. Really, really good. Great Lakes. They make some really great beer. So those are two good IPAs, ladies and gentlemen. If you got a little bit of money in your pocket and you want to drink something that's delicious, but will also give you, a little buzz, a little spice of life, right? You go ahead and get you an IPA, get you some of these Great Lakes IPA. I promise you, you will feel it. It won't be a boring night. That's all I'm saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I'm going to get up out of here. I see, I'm looking at the time. My time is drawing now. I don't want to hold you for too long. Tonight is the Super Bowl. Usher is doing the halftime show in the Super Bowl. I don't follow sports. I don't know anything about the Super Bowl. I had to find out from a woman who's even in the Super Bowl, so that is what it is. I did want to see Usher's point or Usher's part, but then I reminded everybody, hey, guess what? You can wait till 10 minutes after the Super Bowl is over, hit YouTube, and see Usher's whole performance. How about this? You can wait 10 minutes after Usher's whole performance, hit YouTube, and see Usher's whole performance. So that's what I'm going to do, right? That is my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your humble host, Fizzhead Music. This is Urban Politics. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, after this video, actually, run on over to YouTube, like and subscribe, Fizzhead Music, Urban Politics. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, see you around like a donut.